Hello and welcome to Boomer Live. Today we are going to be talking about a close game between Lucknow Super Giants and the Sunrisers Hyderabad. It was Kane Williamson who won the toss and put Lucknow into bat, and they got the early wickets. But KL Rahul and Deepak could have steadied the ship and took Lucknow to a very good score of 169. In response, the Sunrisers Hyderabad couldn't chase it, and it is another game which Sunrisers have lost and which they could have possibly pocketed. I've got Nikhil and Jones joining me. Nikhil, I'll get to you first up. Nikhil, you saw this game turn out to be, right? It started off in a good manner for Sunrise Hyderabad picking up those two early wickets. But from there on, did they actually lose the plot as the partnership built on and which actually reflected in their batting as well?
I do feel due credit to Deepak and KL that they both of them understood the situation well, and Deepak especially ensured that while KL was rightly holding an end up, Deepak was the one who was finding the fence. So I think in that regards, Lucknow will be delighted that very often now in this tournament, it's already very just started now. They've already found ways to come back in the game, which I think is very
Right.
good for the side. And in terms of their finish, maybe they could have got a bit more, but I do again at the end it sounded enough that they did win. But you could say possibly the only spot where I feel they could be a bit troubled is Manish Pandey, where I feel he has to find that range because Badoni is starting to look good in every game that he's playing. Uh, of course, cannot compare Pandey with Badoni, but the roles that Badoni is playing that could possibly put a bit more pressure on Manish to come off. But I think from the batting department, Lucknow did very well. From the bowling bit, again we know SRH are a bit of just there, but not that's good enough. Just how their performances have been. So I think they lack that one killer option, or you call one game closing option that they want. And like imagine having a Rashid Khan after having those three wickets. The game you think of the game completely differently. So I think that
Right.
is what they are missing so far.
Jones, coming to you today. Talking about Deepak Huda, how impressed were you of that knock? Because that was a momentum-changing knock, wasn't it? Because the pace at which also he batted, it was not one of those knocks where he scored 50 or 45 balls or 60 or 40, 40, 50 balls. It was a proper knock where he actually dominated the bowling. He was ready to rotate the strike, and he gave support to KL Rahul that he could actually get into the groove and play his shots as well. How impressed were you of that knock?
I think the main confidence the Bakura brought in was he was called into Indian team in the last month, and that has helped him as well to grow as a cricketer. If you look at the confidence of Prasidh Krishna as a bowler in this IPL compared to last season, I think the national call has helped Prasidh and Dibakuda together to perform in this IPL. And if you look at last few seasons, Dibakuda used to start really well the season. Like in the last year, as when he scored a 50, then he had tough times in the rest of the tournament. But right now, if you look at he has been scoring consistently, and I think mainly due to the national call which happened last month to 1 month back, that has been the factor, and he is getting more confidence due to that, and it is helping Lucknow as well. Mainly because if you look at Lucknow is one batter short. That is one of the biggest worry for them in this IPL. And with Dibakuda coming good, that will be helping. And Ayush Badani, he has been star as well. No one expected Ayush to perform before this season. Everyone was predicting he might get few games, but no one expected him to do so well. Like he anchored in the first match, he finished the innings in the against Chennai, and today also he almost finished the innings really well as well. So
Correct.
that they are coming together as a team, and that are, if you look at the teams who are failing, Mumbai Indians or Chennai Super Kings or Hyderabad, etc., there has been one or two performers, but they are not coming as a group. But if you look at Lucknow's success, everyone is most of them are coming. Most of them are performing. Like Ivan Lewis in the last match, Ayush Badoni in this match, then Deepak Huda, KL Rahul. Everyone is coming together. Apart from Deacock, most of the players has contributed yeah, so far in this tournament. And the way Kurnal Pandey has been bowling, like in the two matches when Lucknow has defended the total, he has been bowling so well. Like not giving much runs here. He knows that he has got some limitations. With that limitation, he's bowling so well. So I think Lucknow is coming together as a group. And once Marcus Stoinis is back, it will be helping KL Rahul as well to get more options to get that middle order sort out as well. There will be lots of experience, especially the form of Ayush Badoni and Dimakuda will be helping as well.
Right. Nikhil, coming to you now. Just talking about the way how he also mentioned about how well this team has been shaping up. Like a team like Lucknow, though they lost the first match, the two wins in a row will definitely be a momentum shifting thing for any team in IPL. Now, looking forward, how big an impact or how big an advantage it will be to have Marcus Stoinis, and where will he actually come in? Because now they have someone like an Evan Lewis, Quinton de Kock, and they have Andrew Tye, who's been doing pretty well, and also Jason Holder, who had a terrific game today. So, do you reckon he'll be coming right in for Evan Lewis and batting at number three?
Uh, Hopefully, no. I probably feel it's going to be a tough call between Quinton and Evan, uh,
Right,
because yes, he could give you overs with the ball, but I don't think they can replace Ty, because then they lack a depth bowling option. So it's going to be interesting, but I think Jason Holder is going to play a very big role. We saw that even today. For the third time in a row, he started a season with a 3 wicket haul. So he comes in, he puts in the impact, and it would be good for him, Holder as a bowler, because this has been his year ever since the England
right,
series as well. He's been performing well. So he, as John rightly said, there is a option, middle order option that they want with Pandey not firing. Jason Holder could easily fill that role, and with Stoinis also in, then you have a middle order that is in form. I mean, imagine if they get a score of 150 in 15 overs, and then you have Stoinis, Holder, Badoni, or even Huda to follow, then that would really be scary for the opposing bowlers.
right,
So
right.
uh, the one thing that they want to sort is probably the top order, where Quinton has got starts, but I think he's been getting starts for some seasons now, but he hasn't converted those into
Converted.
very big scores. So
Right.
that is probably the only area of concern. And I think today the way Avesh and as he said, Prunal came in, and when Vishnu doesn't work, if Prunal works, that is what the team wants. You know, every bowler can't take 2 wickets every day, but if the
Right.
team finds new heroes, that then the team is gelling well as a unit.
Right. Jones, coming to you now. Last week we were talking about Dew being one of the major reasons. Even one of the captain like Shreyas Iyer came out saying that I don't want to ball in that swimming pool. This half of the week, you're seeing there's a change, especially when you saw the groundsmen also have been applying that chemical on the field, but which has been applied quite late. Usually the chemicals were applied 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now they have shifted that to 4 or 5 in the evening. How much of that has actually changed the game? Because now the dew is not setting in like what you would have seen last week, and which is also making the teams defending to defend their scores a little more better, isn't it?
I think one of the reasons is that spray and the humidity factor as well. Like in the
Right,
last match, I think it was around 40 to 45 compared to in the first week, it was almost 60 to 70 something. So there is a major difference happening in this week. We don't know what to expect in next week, but right now the humidity factor has been playing a big part as well. Plus the spray, as you mentioned. I think Kripper saw some the website had posted last day after the CSK match. They have explained about that as well. So it has
right,
been playing a big part. If you look at the last four result as well, every team has
right,
been we are batting first has won the match. So that is a very good change as well. You need to have that because if you look at the UEIPL in the last 2 years, I think in first 2 or 3 weeks, every match has been won by the chasing team. Even the PSL, it happened in the first
right,
2 weeks, etc. But the change has happened very quickly. I think IPL started on March 26th, and right now we are April 4th, and the change has been started in the 2 or 3 days back. So that is very good for IPL, and the toss won't be playing that much part as well.
right,
Even if you look at Sunrisers could have won the match as well. Till that Avesh Khan over, they were favorite. Especially
right.
there was Puran, a well set Puran was there. He had a
Uh,
great opportunity. Like
mm,
everyone was against him. Everyone was going after him last few seasons in IPL. It was a great chance for Puran to finish the match. Especially he can take down the bowlers like Holder, Andrew Tye, etc. Even there
uh,
might be issues against Avesh Khan's pace, but I still believe that he could have taken Andrew Tye, Jason Holder, etc. So if he could have played out that over, the result would have been a different thing as well.
yeah, absolutely. Talking about that, Nikhil, the death overs and captains again trying to finish one of their prime bowlers prior to the 19th and 20th over. We've seen that quite. It's been a trend this IPL. Now we've seen Hardik do it. Now again, KL Rahul, and some captains have failed to do it as well. But Today, how impressed were you of KL Rahul's captaincy? Because that really is a brave call, isn't it, to just give Avesh Khan. And previously, we had criticized KL Rahul for the same decisions which he used to be reluctant to take. And today, he did pretty well. And how impressed were you with the death bowling? Because they just considered 26, 20 runs in the 3 overs, where they were also able to pick up wickets and some crucial wickets.
Yeah, again, of course, it's a two-way thing. Yeah, the captain is always as good as the team. I think Rahul definitely has far better options at Lucknow than he did at Punjab, because Shami, when he comes good, is really good. But apart from him, Punjab, I don't think ever had that experienced dead bowlers whose primary skill is bowling at the dead. So, but with Lucknow, he has Avesh Khan, he has an international experience of Thai, and Jason Holder is also very experienced. So they may go for them, as John said. Had Puran seen of Avesh Khan, who knows, Puran would have closed the game out against Holder or Thai, because that is a preferred type of pace hitting. So in that sense, as I said, it is very important for captains to close the game down, and it is good that most captains are going for the kill first. As we said, Chennai also tried that, but it didn't work out, so it's okay. But I don't think the effort or the intention can be faulted. So in that way, a good game for KL and Lucknow, as you said. When you win these games, when you are behind and then you come back, it bodes really well for the team going forward, because then you are in a better frame of mind to plug whatever holes that are there. So you look at it very differently. Then similarly, if you go to the SRH camp, they'll probably feel, as you said, that we should have done this, we could have done that. So there is a lot of thinking difference that happens because of a win and a loss. So
Right.
in that way, very good win for KL, both as a captain and also as a batsman. I think he did fairly well. Probably could have got a bit more, but again, that's also in hindsight.
Absolutely. Jones, coming to you now. Let's talk about the Sunrisers team. Do you reckon there is a slight issue with the balance in this team? Because Abhishek Sharma has done okay-ish when it comes to an opener's job, Syed Mustaq Ali and everything. But now you have a Washington Sundar who isn't considerably well in TNPL opening the batting. Should they shift the roles? Make Abhishek bat at number 6 and Washington at number 1. Probably that could possibly bring a balance, and Abhishek has done previously as well. Come in the middle order, probably score those quick 10 runs, 15 runs, 20 runs. That could possibly benefit the team.
Uh, I think we can wait for at least 2 matches. That will be better for them, because if you look at it, it's just 2 matches into tournament. There is 12 matches left for the league phase to end. So I believe it is too early. And right, they have been. If you look at whatever Lara Muralidharan has talked about, the way the blueprint during the auction was to get Abhishek Sharma and make him open. So after just 2 losses and moving away from that blueprint, make no sense for as well. Whatever they have done the work for last 3 or 4 or 5 months, the preparation to the auction, the preparation to the IPL 2022, that won't be ideal. The game plan need to be completely changed. They can make lots of options as well. Like Markham can open. Rahul Tripati can open. Kane Williamson can go to number 3. Then
Right.
Abdul Samad can come at number 6. Then Washington Sundar, as you mentioned, Sundar can open. So they can make at least 3 or 4 or 5 combinations in that top 7. So it's really tough to which can work out, which won't be, which can work, which won't be working out, etc. So I believe we can wait for at least 2 matches. Then still there is 10 matches left in this tournament as well. So I
Right.
believe that that is a way forward for Sunrisers as well. And I believe, as you mentioned last time as well, they don't have an attacking spinner. The wickets in the middle phase is really important. Right now, they are trusting up Umran Malik, and
Yeah.
that can we can't blame Umran Malik as well. He's
Right.
really experienced. He hasn't played much cricket,
Very well.
so he needs to develop. And a developing bowler in that phase, especially when you don't have a spinner, won't be ideal. If they had a spinner along with Umran Malik, then that team would have been more dangerous, and it would have been more tough for the opposition as well, because you have bowler with 150 clicks, and if you have very good spinner. Right now, their spinner is Shreyas Gobar, and he
Right.
can't even start for Karnataka in the domestic cricket. So how they are going to trust in IPL? That is another
Right.
question as well. So if they would have picked, especially someone like UC or Ashwin or anyone, any other off spinner, there were lots of options. Like Rajasthan Royals got UC plus Ashwin for 10 crores or 11 crores something.
Right.
So if they, especially Sunrisers had got lots of money as well before during the auction as well, they could have easily done that. If, as I mentioned earlier, Umran plus a spinner would have been a lethal combo for any battle lineup in this IPL as well.
Right. And Nikhil, coming to you, Jones made an important point regarding combinations. Now, talking about Kane Williamson, I know it's very early, as John's mentioned, but do you see him bat at number three going ahead, or do you want him to stick to where he is right now?
There's one thing to add to Jones, where he said that they would have done lots of effort for the first few months. Hopefully, even that wasn't enough for Catus to stay. So hopefully, there is something that has changed that has prompted him to go.
Right.
But again, I do agree with Jones where he says that of course it's too early to change, and this was their first plan that you get Abhishek Sharma and Williamson to open. But again, my simple view to this is I would not want to lose Williamson in the power play. I feel the lineup that they have and the experience that they have in the lower middle order, it is not enough to see them through. And while Puran is a very good buy, no doubt about it, but it'll take time. He hasn't even lit up the IPL. Okay, like Livingston did today was the perfect chance for Puran to do that as well. And this is why you pay the experienced guys so much money so that they can close the game up. So
Right.
in that sense is what I feel that we could possibly wait for a few more games. But I think Williamson should move down, and you have to use the likes of Rahul Tripathi up in terms of opening in the power play. You could even open with Makaram, as Jones rightly said. So you have the resources. It is just about finding the best possible roles for them. Who knows? Even from now on, if Williamson can find a way to survive the first few overs, we know he can score big. But
Yeah.
again, my point is, if he's coming back from an injury, it's not likely that he'll suddenly get into good form. So he will take his time as well, which is natural. So I think going forward, we might see him drop him down to three. But hopefully for now, whatever they do, it works out because IPL needs teams to win, like all teams to win. Because otherwise, if you see two, three teams languishing right away from the start, then it will be hard for them to catch up.
Right, absolutely. Jones, coming to you, one of the players who Sunrise has retained at the start of the season was Abdul Samad, and they've shown like considerable amount of faith on this lad because they know the potential this guy has, and we have seen it in bits and pieces in the IPL as well. Do you reckon that's been affecting his performance because he's not quite delivered? This is his third season, if I'm not wrong, and he's not quite delivered to the potential which was actually promised earlier.
Uh, I think he's playing the toughest role in a T20 phase as well. As a finisher who is not international player, who is just 21 and 20 something, coming from a Jammu Kashmir place as well. He's not coming from Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, etc. So there will be lots of limitations, etc. So it's really unfortunate that he is not doing well, but I still will be backing him. We have seen his potential. As you mentioned, he has hit sixes against Loki or Rabada, etc. during the UAE phase. He has shown that I believe it's just a matter of one innings to
Yeah.
get that confidence. Even if you look at his performance in recent domestic season as well, he has done well for Jammu Kashmir. He is coming from a good form. But it's too early to tell, as we discussed earlier, if we need to change the opening combination, if we need to change the Ken Williamson spot. So
Right.
I believe it's better to judge after a few 3 or 4 or 5 matches. And I believe and we all know he has got the talent. His base against pace is so good. I would have preferred Samath over Washington Sundar today as well. I don't know why they went with two lefties in that
Right.
phase. Maybe they could have played Samath ahead of Washington Sundar, even though Sundar has done well in the last match. But still, if you ask anyone after the 15th over, who do you prefer, Samath or
Yeah.
Sundar? I think at least 90% of people will be saying Samath. So I still think they should have done that, but maybe due to the form for the last match, they trusted Sundar ahead of Samath today.
Right. Now let's go to that segment which Nikhil, of course, loves it. It is the fantasy segment of the day. Nikhil, how was your day in the fantasy field? Did you actually had a lemonade kind of a day, or it was a iffy day?
No, it was nearly a lemonade day. I do see John's also giving out good picks every day. So we already
Nice.
have a start there. So that's good to see. But yeah, overall great day because I love Jason Holder. Always been a great fan, and of course you don't take too many risks in every day. So so far so good. Hopefully it continues in the coming games as well.
Oh, that's good. Talking about that kind of days, you know how to actually go out there and win and make some amazing days. Now we have Nikhil taking a course, a full-on course on how do you convert these starts into big winnings. Nikhil, I'll hand over to you on this.
Yes, so this course that I'm doing with Mad About Sports is about how to be in profit in fantasy cricket.
Right.
One simple example could be today my captain was Kane Williamson, and I still was in profit, despite the guy not doing enough, because my overall combination was such that I backed Lucknow to win, but I did feel that Kane Williamson could put in a very good score, and uh, that the fact that I'm still in profit tells you that there was enough homework done in terms of the selecting the rest 10. So that way it worked out, and that is why I want to share that information with everyone out there, that what all are these processes that I follow that have helped me win so much already, and these are the things that can easily benefit everyone in terms of what are the types of contests you should play, what are the types of teams can you make, and how can you get back? Now, if I had invested with Kane Williamson captain in few of those small leagues, maybe it wouldn't have worked out. But because I
Absolutely.
joined the right kind of leagues with my teams, I am into profit. So it's very important to identify what's your type, and then you back. Everybody is not the same. Everybody doesn't play the same way. So how can you treat fantasy in the same way? So that is all the course is about. It has already benefited a lot of people, and hopefully we'll see a lot more people benefiting out of it.
Absolutely. Having said that, thank you, gentlemen, for joining and talking about the game. Of course, it was a very close game between two good sides. I'm sure that going ahead in the IPL, we'll definitely see more of these games. And if we do not have due to be a spoiled sport, I'm sure that bowling sides or the teams which will bat first can absolutely have a relief. Finally, talking about it. Now, talking about financial risk, playing or talking about having a very good day at fantasy field, you know, you can play without any financial risk in one platform, and that is Boomer 11. This
Yep.
IPL Boomer 11 is offering you prizes worth 5,000. So stand a chance to win that, of course. And do remember, follow our Instagram page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be having these two gentlemen throughout the course of the IPL talking about the game in depth and also taking your questions on your favorite teams as well. So, having
Yep.
said that, have a good night, all. Thank you both for joining, and I'm sure that you both enjoyed the game as well. And we'll sure talk about it more.
Yes, sure.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Have a good time.